Hello everybody, welcome to the Cave Trolls Comics. Today we're going to be talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. : Ghost Rider? Comma Ghost Rider?
Semicolon.
Semicolon Ghost Rider?
Hyphen?
Hyphen? Subtitle Ghost Rider.
Space hyphen space.
Space hyphen space. Season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. finally debuted, and it was awesome.
I agree.
We're also going to be talking about Gotham. We normally are going to be talking about other comic book shows, but since
this is our first episode of this.
Exactly.
So bear with us.
Exactly. But also nothing else is out yet.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Like we still have a lot of time.
I mean, it's the start of the fall premiere of
we still have a few more weeks before Flash and Arrow and Supergirl.
It's officially fall now too.
It is. It's officially fall. Turkeys and leaves.
I really don't know how much that actually means to other people that aren't in states in the
Midwest. Yeah, people with seasons. It probably means nothing, honestly, to most of the country. But to us, people, we're Michiganders. We have the mitten.
Mm-hmm. Wait. Yeah, this one. And then you do this for the UP. I don't know which way it goes.
No, but let's start with Ghost Rider then, because it's the first thing up.
Yep.
Before we get too far into it, though, can we just like acknowledge how awesome it is that soon we will have almost every single day of the week we'll have a comic book show?
It's so cool.
It's like Mondays we're going to have Gotham and Supergirl, and then Tuesdays we have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Flash, and then Wednesdays we have Arrow, and then Thursdays we have Legends of Tomorrow. I mean, I guess if you really want to count, you have Lucifer. And they've been talking about pitching some other shows like Black Lightning.
Yeah.
There's the Cloak and Dagger show maybe coming out on I forget the new network. It used to be ABC Family.
I don't know.
It's something else now.
I don't pay attention to the.
You know me. I'm kind of a nerd about that stuff, but that's going to be coming out soon. And then Hulu's in talks to do a new Runaways show. And then
I forgot about that.
Exactly. And Luke Cage comes out next Friday.
Right.
It's just it's just such an exciting time.
We're gonna binge that. We're gonna be tired.
Oh my god, I'm not gonna sleep. I'm so excited. I've been listening to Wu-Tang just because like they drop in the trailer, but also they've mentioned that they're gonna be kind of doing this show kind of like albums, and they keep referencing Wu-Tang because like the Defenders coming together. Yeah. So you have each group just like. Wu-Tang Clan together has songs, but then each member has a solo career, and I love the analogy so much. Like there's them using old school hip hop. Like they did the covers thing last year around Secret Wars, right, which was really neat. But just the fact that we're getting the Luke Cage show, like one of the lead creators of Marvel is referencing Wu-Tang Clan in like normal press releases. This is just such a cool time.
It's just gonna feel that like inner city.
It's gonna be authentic. It's gonna have an amazing soundtrack, and I just think it's cool. Like 10 years ago, they would never say anything about the Wu-Tang Clan in a press release. Now we get a show about Luke Cage, fucking Iron Fist.
Right.
I got asked the other day at work. They're like, "Do you know anything about Iron Fist?" I was like, "I know everything about Iron Fist. Why do you know what Iron Fist is?" It was a really cool moment. It reminded me of when they announced the Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Right.
Because I wasn't a big fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy, but I knew of it.
Yeah. Most people weren't. Most people had no idea who
even
the
comic
Guardians
book
of the
readers.
Galaxy.
Like I said, I'm an avid comic book reader, and I was like, I know the Guardians. Never really read them.
See, I read them. Didn't care a whole lot about them at the time, but
and that's a really good run. I do have a better appreciation. I'm not going to pretend like I knew everything about them before that movie came out, though. And that's the thing is, and people would come up and ask me like, comic books. What do you know about the Guardians of the Galaxy? And I tell them what little I know. And
just the fact that they're like a B team, like ragtag team of cosmic heroes.
Like, in quotations. It's just neat that things like that are like we have properties for it now.
Yeah.
Minus the Suicide Squad because that was a less than great movie, but it's still neat that it happened.
Yeah.
So with that said, we'll dive into Ghost Rider a little bit. What did you like about the first episode? I like other than everything.
Well, there was some action. It didn't seem like there was a ton of action for the first episode.
It was definitely a slower build than a lot of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes.
But it was really cool. The action that they did, the effects were really cool. It didn't feel like it was super like CG, it didn't feel cheap. Animated at all.
Yeah, it didn't feel TV. Not that S.H.I.E.L.D. never really has. I don't think they've ever gone too cheesy with their effects.
No.
But this felt high budget.
It did. You kind of would expect with a TV show, like, it's does pretty well. Right. But for effects for somebody like Ghost Rider, you would expect kind of something middle of the road, maybe a little less.
Right, and exactly. And it's not like this is an HBO. This isn't Game of Thrones. This is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's gotten flack for lower viewership before. It moved to a later time slot, which they cited is because of like actual like narrative reasons. They want to be a little bit darker, a little bit sexier, they said.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like we can't, I don't want to defend the fact and say like, not everybody watches S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, I could see them getting a later time slot.
Yeah.
It's not a primetime show necessarily.
And
I love it, but...
Yeah, I do too. They can kind of fit to more of the needs of the people that watch it.
Exactly.
More than trying to get more people to watch it.
Exactly. Instead of pandering to an audience that might not care at all, they can focus on the loyal fans. They can take it to a little bit of a darker area. And also, we get properties now like Ghost Rider. I think that's really neat. Right into it. I mean, like you said, the effects, it looked amazing. So we're just going to go in, like, spoilers for Ghost Rider. We're going to talk about this a little bit. When they did the flip of the Dodge, that was amazing. That was so cool.
Like, when it happened, I was worried. I was like, oh, this is going to be cool, but...
Yeah, what is going to happen? Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, this is going to be kind of cheesy. He's going to walk out and he's going to transform. And the way they did it, they handled it so well. It was so Ghost Rider.
They didn't show him. They just showed the flip of the keys.
The flip of the keys. I really like that. I mean, I know Robbie Reyes. I'm not a... Right? Robbie Reyes? Yeah. I'm not a gigantic fan of that Ghost Rider. Not anything against him. I just never really read that book. I read it more when it was the two Ghost Rider brothers on the bikes. That was more of my core readership, and then a lot of the older Ghost Rider stuff because of Nicolas Cage and just trying
Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Blaze, exactly. A lot of demon stuff in there, but this is definitely a different kind of version than main viewers would know. And it showed different levels of him. He was willing to fight off Sky, and like you weren't sure if he was going to murder her or what he was going to lead her to the actual book that she was asking about. I like that. Like it set up levels of him, and then also it showed at the end his brother.
Right. Then the line when he was like, "Oh, like I don't have a choice."
Exactly. Like I didn't judge those people.
No,
I don't do that. No, he does.
Exactly.
I love that they're really setting up. Like, yes, he has control of the power somewhat, but there is another entity in him
that controls those decisions.
Exactly. I like that. It seems symbiotic. Like he's doing the will of the rider, but also they're working together. I really like that because that lets there be two characters. Just adds another level of depth to that. And then what did you think of the actual fighting effects with him? So like when he just picked up stuff and it would go to flame, what did you think of that?
I thought that was really cool. I mean, he doesn't just have to have a chain.
No, exactly. That was the one thing I did like about Ghost Rider 2, Ghost of Vengeance, I think is what it's called. Right. Again, not a great movie, but they let him do so much more than ride on a bike.
Right.
You know what I mean? He got into a crane at one point and some other things. But like the whole thing about Ghost Rider is he can make anything powerful.
Right.
So whether it be keys in his hand, his awesome Dodge Charger, or a random stick or 2x4 or a pipe at one point, and the way they did it was very subtle. It wasn't like, oh, check out this transformation every time. It was just like, listen, this is what he does.
Right.
He moves a crate, it's going to light on fire. That's who he is. What did you think of the actual face of Ghost Rider?
I mean, it looked obviously like an actual skull.
Right.
It looked cool.
Yeah. The flame effects looked real.
Right.
I like that. The one thing I thought they did a good job of doing a combination of the original Ghost Rider, just skull, but then also putting more intricate lines into it, so it looks more like the Robbie Reyes one, because his didn't really look like a skull. It looked like a helmet, kind of.
Yeah.
And so I thought they did a good job of kind of paying homage to his version of Ghost Rider, but while showing a version of it that people would recognize, like, oh, flaming skull. I get it. He's the Ghost Rider. What did you think of them just like out and out calling him Ghost Rider? Just like no blue red blur like Smallville, not the red Scarlet.
I mean, I think it's smart just because everybody knows. I feel like calling him a stupid kind of side name.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's kind of over that.
Yes.
So I mean, everybody knows him as the Ghost, or not necessarily knows him, but
we know
they know that the Ghost Rider is going to be in this series.
I mean, it's in the subtitles, so why even play around with it? I like that a lot. It's the same reason why
straight to the point.
Exactly. It's the same reason why I was excited when they changed Sky's name to Daisy.
Yeah.
And then eventually now they're actually calling her Quake, which is cool. It's like we can be done with this stupid. I guess stupid is the wrong word. It's of an older time when comic book movies had to be more cheeky about their references.
Right.
Now people like the stuff. They want it to be comic booky, so just give them the names.
Exactly.
We love the code names. That's why we're watching the show. And I guess with that, let's segue a little bit more into the actual S.H.I.E.L.D. part of the episode. Yeah. What did you think of coming back to that storyline after all this time?
I mean, it feels the same but different because everything's so broken up.
Yeah, I did not expect it to be that way.
It's not a team anymore. They're all in different sects. Gemma is basically like head of all of them.
Yeah, her in a leadership role was really cool, and like it really showed how far that character came. Just like all of them, really.
Right.
But we'll get to them. But with Gemma, like when they first showed her, like she was tied to Fitz's hip, and she was weird and awkward, and now she is like almost number 2 of Shield, and the character growth is really believable and of all people.
It's still her. She still has those like minor quirks about her, but she's like much more confident, much more like a leader role in the Shield team.
Exactly. And I like that they didn't just go for the easy, her and Fitz already broke up.
Right.
Like, I love that, like, that relationship is strong. That relationship, we worked for it. We get to keep it. I love that, because I would be so heartbroken if they broke up again.
Spent so much time building that relationship up.
Exactly.
And then almost screwing it up, but like it still built up and
right. And I mean, they're still showing the strain. It's hard to have a relationship with somebody you work with, not to mention your boss, basically.
Yep.
I like that was all believable, but they're not like done. They're not breaking up or anything like that. Which was I was a little bit worried when they showed like what they were,
Yeah.
And I know we're leading up to be some issues there.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in a minute. So you mentioned they were all broken up. When I first saw like at the end of season 3, it showed Coulson. He calls the director. It's like okay, he's not the leader anymore. But I still expected them to be a team.
Yeah.
But now it's just him and Mac are partners, which I really like that dynamic.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's cool that they're kind of split up because it makes sense.
Yes.
New director, worried about them being together because of like the crazy, just everything that's gone on.
Happened. And also they ran S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And now it's government run again. There's oversight. It's a big company again. Not company per se, but it's a big government organization.
He needs people to trust him and them as an organization.
And rather than these 5 random dudes who did a good job when they had it, but that's not what it is anymore.
Right,
it's
they
not
had to
this
tie
rogue
everything
operation.
with the Sokovia Accords that's happening.
Exactly. So like he needs to make examples. So I really like that. What did you think of the fact they didn't show the director?
It makes you wonder.
Yeah. I mean, we all have. I mean, if you're a fan of the show, you've seen pictures. You know who they cast. I think I like the casting. He looks like he could fill the role. I don't know too much of what he's been in. I can't even think of his name right now. But I like that they kind of, like you said, it's kind of let us wonder about him a little bit.
Right.
It did get a little annoying, similar to like Superman and Supergirl the first season. They kept referencing him, like the director doesn't call him by name or anything like that. But we know he's showing up, so it wasn't as frustrating. What did you think of May training all of her? She had like her own little team and like training recruits, and
I thought it was cool, but at the same time disappointing because like she does not want to do that.
No.
She wants to, number 1, be with her team. Number 2, be out in the field.
Right. It made me wonder because like when we first met May, she didn't want to be in the field anymore because of everything that happened. But then Coulson kind of got that out of her, and then she like was back to her old self. She was the cavalry again. And like you said, like that's kind of what she wanted. Maybe this is like the growth of her, like after her husband dying and everything she went through. Maybe she doesn't want to be in the field, but like you said, she does want to be with her team.
Yeah.
But it was kind of neat to see how good her basically trainees were.
Right.
Like they were the SWAT team that saved Mac and Coulson. It's like, and they're new. They're like, they're underlings.
Yeah,
and they were already that good.
They're new. I mean, the technology that they have obviously helped them a lot.
Oh,
in that
definitely.
Situation.
They had what did
like
they
VR
have?
almost.
Yeah, basically they had headsets that could see everything, and they had super advanced icers. Like it was like machine gun versions of it. So like that's a good point. Like I won't undersell that, but their hand-to-hand combat looked like it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that she was giving them a lesson. Like we'll mention the comedy. Like that was rolling hard. Even though this was a really serious episode, jokes abound.
Yep.
And like I really, even though Joss doesn't really work on this as much, his brother does now. I mean, he always has, but like it still has that Joss Whedon flair to it. You know, like they keep the wit of all these characters because these are all funny characters who have a rapport with each other.
It's a Marvel story basically,
right?
So it
keep that comic book wit,
right?
When they had May, tell them like what their issue was, like you shouldn't have tapped out, like you never give up.
Yeah,
like it was kind of cheeky, but also like good advice for them in the field.
It was a serious moment, but like funny because
it's May,
right?
Exactly. And then Coulson high-fiving himself.
Yeah,
that. I was dying. I had to pause it because I'm like, that was the best thing I've seen all day.
And then when Coulson got his new arm, and Mac was like, "Oh,
that's unfair." Being able to scan everything, and they kept it rolling like the entire time. What do you think of Quake being on the run?
I mean, part of me wants her to be on the team, but at the same time, the team's broken up anyways.
Right. So we wouldn't get her interacting with everybody.
Exactly, and it makes sense, obviously, with everything that's gone on with Captain America: Civil War.
Exactly.
I mean, she's on the run. Steve Rogers on the run.
Right. I don't know. I understand that S.H.I.E.L.D.'s trying to make her a priority. She's a prior S.H.I.E.L.D. property, basically. Not only was she raised by S.H.I.E.L.D., but also, she was a enhanced, she's an Inhuman. She worked with them.
I don't know if I like so much the darkness about her.
It seems a little angsty.
Exactly. I mean, she basically almost died and she was okay with it.
Right.
It was a little too much for me.
Yeah, it was a little, okay, we get it, you're a teenager. Like, right. I was a little upset when she was like, do it, just do it. And I was like, come on, really? You're that bad? Like, that seems a little harsh.
I mean, like, she went through a lot in the last season, but I feel like she had gone through much more and much worse in seasons past.
Exactly. Season 1 and 2 I thought was way worse on her.
I mean, obviously she was mind controlled, but it didn't feel as much intense to me as it did before.
Exactly. So I think they're playing that up a little bit more, and I think part of that is going to be her, like, giving her a little bit of a redemption arc to pit her against Ghost Rider.
Right.
And I think part of the reason why they're trying to make her angstier and darker is so we could believe her working with Ghost Rider after she knows that he's a killer.
Yeah.
Even though, like he said, he's killing pedophiles, he's killing murderers.
Serial killers.
Exactly. These are not innocent people. She still was a cop, essentially.
Right.
She had a license to kill, but, she had a license. She was trained. Know when to do it, when not to do it. You don't just do it without prejudice, So I think that they're just trying to make her darker so we can believe her working with the Ghost Rider. But we'll see. Who knows where they go with it. I did think they took it a step further. Like, they gave her eyeshadow. Like, she had never worn any before, but now that she's bad, she's got eyeshadow on. I thought that was kind of funny.
I mean, it just looked like bags under her eyes, just... To me, it seemed like she was just in not a good place.
I get it. You're dark now. You painted your fingernails and you have eyeshadow on. I was there. I was 14 once.
Mm-hmm. Now she's taking these drugs to make her arms feel better.
Yeah, I did like that. Like, at first I thought it was just because she didn't have the inhibitors anymore.
Right.
But I guess it's just because she's using them so often. Like, she's using it to fly now.
Right.
Which I thought was really cool. Mm-hmm. And I get that they have to kind of add a reason why she just doesn't do that 24/7. Because otherwise she would fly into every scene.
Right, like not only that, but like her power is pretty like OP when it comes to everybody else in this universe or this part of the
like the television version,
the shield of the Marvelverse right now.
Right, so they have to have a limited power.
Yeah, exactly. There has to be some sort of like
drawback exactly. Yeah. No, I completely understand that. Plus, with a lot of the budget going towards Ghost Rider, I'm sure they're gonna try to limit a little bit what she can do, especially after last season when they showed that she can fly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see a lot of her dropping into the scene and then bopping out. We're not gonna see her flying exactly. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have money there.
Like a George Jetson.
One thing that we haven't got to yet is the direct tie-in to Doctor Strange with the ghost eyes and everything. Directly, is not Mordo. I can't remember his name, but essentially the disciple of Dormammu.
Yeah.
Who Mads Mikkelsen is playing. Mm-hmm. Same eye effect. And it seems to lead to some sort of demonic possession is what that references. So either you're seeing these ghosts / demons or you've been possessed by them.
Right.
And that was what was in the box. It was a ghost. So they're really playing up the supernatural. So not just Ghost Rider, but also ghosts, period, along with tying directly to Doctor Strange, which they probably will mention. And I think what they're setting up is... Since there's no big crossover event coming this summer, the big crossover isn't going to be Captain America or Iron Man this season or Avengers. It's going to be with Doctor Strange.
Right, and the mystic, like...
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Doctor Strange on S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's just like we never saw Captain America, but we saw the fallout, right?
Exactly.
I think that's what we're going to see in S.H.I.E.L.D. come November, is there's going to be 2 episodes that directly tie into Doctor Strange, which I'm excited for. I think that's really cool. I want to see more synergy, so... And I think I'm not allowed to have things on the table.
Number one, I mean, that's hard to do for a TV show to a movie.
Oh, yeah, totally. And they've mentioned that that's going to be difficult to do.
Yeah. And number two, like, I feel like so far the directors and producers of the movies don't really want it just because that kind of can tie their hands a bit, but it doesn't really because they're kind of...
Right, well,
they're making the show fit to the movies more than
exactly.
Anything,
The big problem you have with it is it has to be one way because the movies are made... 2-3 years in advance, where the TV show is written, months, and along with that, like you said, it kind of ties their hands a bit because, they have to narratively try to make it fit. And then the same thing with, you don't want, with a TV show, you have a more dedicated audience that will go do a movie.
Right.
When you make a movie, you want that to reach a lot more people than a television show, and you don't want them to have to sit through 26 episodes. Or like this, where like you have 70-some.
Right. It's fine to tie the TV show to the movie, but when you tie the movie to the TV show, you kind of tie your own hands.
Exactly. And you make your audience kind of go, wait, should I know that? You don't want to make your audience sit through 75 hours of something to understand it. Where there's comic book nerds like us that want to do all that, and they do pander to us a lot with Easter eggs. But to do that directly, like to have like... not necessarily Coulson, but like one of the random agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. be the second player in Doctor Strange. It'd be really hard to do. So
yeah, it's a lot of work on their end, and it's a lot of risk on their end.
Exactly. So we might see more of that. I know they've talked about a little bit more synergy, and there's still a chance that we might see some Netflix heroes pop up in Infinity. Because honestly, it'll probably be a cameo. Probably when they won't have to worry about story. They're just going to have Daredevil in the background of one scene or something. You know. So I'm excited for all that. Overall, I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was awesome this week.
I agree. I'm excited for next week.
I'm super excited for next week. One thing we didn't talk about was Ada, the first life model decoy.
Oh, right.
It was weird. I don't know where they're going with it other than life model decoys. I'm excited. I don't like that the first episode they already have Fitz keeping secrets from Simmons.
I know.
But
they
we'll
built
see.
that relationship up, and now they're gonna tear it back down.
I really hope they don't tear it down. Like I mentioned in the first episode, like I hope they don't do that. But we'll see.
I mean, Gemma could be okay with it because understanding the fact that she can't know that because
she can't lie to the director, which I thought was like a little hokey. Like, okay, I get it. He does lie detectors, so no one can lie to you like all the time. I'm like, okay, I get that, but like they said it 9 times.
I know.
Like they really don't want you to forget that she has to take a lie detector test. So we'll see. I guess the only other comic book show we can talk about is Gotham. We don't watch Gotham.
Yeah.
Season 3, episode 1. Season 4, episode 1. 3,
2. I think it's
2, 3.
3.
I know there's a character on there named Fish Mooney, and she is a monster / married to Will Smith.
I heard she was killed, but I don't know.
I think she came back to life.
She came back
because of Hugo Strange and Azrael, and Poison Ivy's a seductress, but she's 12.
Yep.
And that's really gross.
And I know her and Bruce Wayne are having a thing now.
They got a thing.
Yep.
I don't know because they brought in Silver St. Cloud.
Yep.
Which is directly a seductress in the comic books, but she's also 12 in this, which is really weird because that was her only role in the comics was like to be a seductress. And they mentioned Poison Ivy's power as a seduction. I was like, no, she can control plants, but good try.
No, she controls them by seducing them.
She seduces the plants. Honestly, I never understood that. So that's what this whole season's going to be about. It's going to be about her learning to seduce people, but also plants.
I mean, from the little of the episode that I saw, which when I say little, I mean none.
I mean, that's just like Penguin. Penguin can seduce penguins. That's his power, right?
Exactly. And I believe Danny DeVito makes a cameo, doesn't he?
Yeah, he controls penguins.
Right.
He is a penguin. Is it? And then Pee-wee shows up as his father.
Right. Yeah. I'm starting to remember.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm like 90% sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
and that's a lot because it's Gotham. I don't think anyone can be sure. I want people to fact check me because I want people to have to watch the show and put in the comments what actually happens.
We definitely should be fact checked on this. I heard that Bruce Wayne's gonna get his Batman voice.
I thought you were gonna say puberty.
He's gonna hit puberty as well, but that's how he gets his Batman voice.
Is that the secret origin of the Batman voice?
Yeah,
that's so exciting. So if they give him the Batman voice and Poison Ivy seductress powers over plants, and Penguin can control penguins. Does Two-Face control two faces? Is that how that works?
I think he controls half of.
Does Riddler seduce people through riddles?
I think Riddler is seduced by the riddles that he tells other people.
And are we going to see the secret origin of the really, really weird wet nurse that convinces parents to name all of their characters, like their kids' puns? like Poison Ivy, Edward Nygma. What is Penguin's name? Penguin? I don't know his name. Penguin. Cobblepot?
It's Oswald Cobblepot.
That's Penguin for short, right?
Yeah.
Penguin is short for Oswald, right?
Yep.
In Old English. That's what I believe.
I learned that from Shakespeare. I learned most of my words from Shakespeare.
Most of my Batman knowledge does come from abbreviated versions of Hamlet. I'm pretty sure they're like the same thing. It's like Lion King. Lion King is Hamlet.
And then
Romeo and Juliet is Romeo and Juliet is Lion King 2. And then Macbeth is Batman.
Yep.
Right? That's how that works.
I think so.
Is Batman also Romeo and Juliet?
What about Taming of the Shrew? Is that the Dark Knight?
Yes. No, it's Harley Quinn. That's Harley Quinn and Joker. Don't you get it?
Okay,
because she's crazy and he has to tame her.
Right, but
she's also
Heath Ledger was in both of those.
Yeah, he was. He was in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yep.
I wanted to make a joke, but I just really like that movie and the fact that it is Taming of the Shrew. I'm very proud of you for knowing that. It's like when I bring it, like, sometimes I test people.
I know Shakespeare.
I know. Of all things that you know. I mean, I know Batman and you know Shakespeare.
Like I said, I learned a lot of my vocabulary from Shakespeare.
I learned most of mine from seducing books.
Yeah,
that's my power.
But I believe most of our English vulgar words came from Shakespeare, didn't they?
Well, because he's a genius.
Exactly.
we don't know where fuck came from, which is cool because that's like the main word in my vocabulary, and there's no secret origin for it. People think there's some stories out there, but most likely they don't know. But Shakespeare invented Batman. That's the one thing I do know.
Funny story. Do you know the origin of Pac-Man?
Of Pucku Pucku? All right, that is Cave Trolls on Comics. If you want to see us on anything else, check us out here on YouTube, or if you're listening on iTunes, like, subscribe, drop a review over on iTunes of all of our stuff. Whether it's negative, positive, doesn't matter. It helps out either way. Just go drop us. Let us know what you think. You can put it in the comments below. If you want to email us directly, we are cavetrollscast@gmail.com. Give us, any sort of feedback there. If you have questions, comments, concerns, hate mail, love mail.
Tune in next week. We'll have more about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Gotham. And I think that's it still, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's it still. But then the week after that, we'll start getting into Flash and Arrow and Supergirl.
Yeah.
All that stuff's coming, and we're going to be talking about that here. Also, Legends of Tomorrow. I forgot Legends of Tomorrow. Check out all of our other projects. If you want to check us out on Twitter, we are at CaveTrollsCast as a unit. I'm at Resident Stevel, and Jordan is at
Extraordinary.
All right. We're the Cave Trolls, and we're out.